Secret hate, handling haters and jealousy. For a long time, I couldn't quite grasp why so many people seemed to hate me, or why I had accumulated so many enemies along the way. Sure, there were plenty of things I did that I'm not proud of, shitty things, if we're being honest, but there was always a pattern in the way my friendships ended. It wasn't the relationships with men. Those were different beasts altogether. It was the friendships, the bonds with those I thought were close to me, that would suddenly, explosively end. One minute, everything was cool, and the next, it was as if a bomb had gone off. Communication would cease almost entirely, and I'd be left wondering what the hell just happened. It wasn't until recently that I started to piece it all together. Looking back, I can see the resentment building long before the end. There were always signs, those micro-expressions, those little flashes of something in their eyes when I shared good news. They weren't truly happy for me. Jealousy would flicker across their faces when things went well for me, and it was only now that I realized it was because I was a mirror for them. I was showing them what they weren't doing, what they were capable of, but chose not to pursue. As I moved forward with my life and career, I noticed how those close to me began to distance themselves. When their businesses didn't take off like mine, when their lives didn't align with the success I was experiencing, the distance grew. I had friends who were always complaining about their health, and as I started to heal myself, they couldn't stand it. If I offered advice, they would brush it off, preferring to stay in their cycle of complaining rather than taking action. And then, they would disappear. There's something about how brightly I shine that eventually sours my relationships. At first, people love the idea of being friends with someone who seems to have it all. At face value, I have an Instagram perfect life. My life checks all the boxes of what most people want. I am walking in the life that everyone watched me ask for on my vision board all those years ago. But as time goes on, they see the energy it takes to maintain this life. They see how I'm always on the go, always brainstorming, always trying to figure out life, and it exhausts them. They can't match it, and that frustrates them. It's not me they're frustrated with. It's themselves. I become a mirror for what they aren't doing in their own lives. It's easy for people to look at successful individuals and think, they have it all. It must be easy for them. But when they get close, they see the truth. How much work it takes to be successful, the sacrifices, the endless hours of grinding. And that scares them. It forces them to confront the reality that the only reason they aren't where they want to be is that they aren't doing the work. They aren't taking action. Seeing someone in action terrifies them because it reflects what they're not willing to do. The greatest test. One of the simplest yet most profound tests to see if someone is truly for you is to share your good news and watch how they react. Their response will tell you everything you need to know about their true nature and their feelings towards you. A genuine friend, a true partner, will share in your happiness. They will celebrate your successes with you without a hint of jealousy or resentment. They will be supportive, encouraging, and genuinely eager to see you thrive and grow, both personally and professionally. But not everyone will react this way. Some will respond to your good news with envy, negativity, or worse, indifference. These reactions are red flags, indicating that their intentions may not be as genuine as they seem. It shows that they are more concerned with their own well-being than with your success and happiness. By observing how someone reacts to your triumphs, you can gain insight into their character and decide whether they are a positive influence in your life. Remember, relationships are built on trust and support. Surrounding yourself with people who are genuinely happy for your achievements creates a strong foundation for long-lasting and fulfilling relationships. As you navigate life's challenges and successes, having a network of people who uplift and encourage you can make all the difference in your overall well-being and personal growth. Dealing with haters. So what happens when the energy vibes shift from subtle resentment to full-on hate? What do you do when you start attracting haters? I'm not here to sugarcoat things or create illusions. I'm here to lay out the reality of the field. Too often, people hit these barriers and turn back, not understanding that it's completely normal. Hell, it's expected when you step out of the herd. As you rise, as your soul lights up with ambition and purpose, you start burning brighter. Your aura begins to speak for itself, and guess what? The moths are drawn to the light. This is why so often, lightworkers, healers, and those on the path attract partners who need healing, frenemies, and leeches. Yes, leeches who come to suck the life force right out of you. Haters often show up when you start throwing out the concept of limits, when you decide that there's no ceiling to what you can achieve. And this scares the hell out of those still stuck in the herd. They're convinced that there are limits to what's possible. So when you step out and say, "Fuck it, I'm going for more," it forces them to confront the fact that they too could do the same, but aren't. Instead of looking inward and getting their own game together, they start throwing swords at you. They want to pull you back down to their level because your success highlights their failures. Don't waste your energy trying to bring them up with you. I spent years doing that, and it's a losing battle. Move proudly in the direction you've chosen for yourself. If they want to come along, they'll find a way, but don't look back. Sometimes, saying goodbye is just a way of saying hello on another level. Trust me, I've crossed paths with people years, even decades later, only to find ourselves on the same level, at the same point in our journeys. It's one of the coolest feelings when it happens. Secret hate. Secret hatred is a more insidious form of this negative energy. It's when someone harbors resentment or jealousy towards you, but hides it behind fake smiles, pleasantries, or those little sideways jokes that sting more than they amuse. Their aim? To undermine you, belittle you, or cast doubt on your achievements without being openly confrontational. One way to recognize these individuals is by paying attention to how they react emotionally. Confront them about a comment, and they might become overly defensive or gaslight you, making you question your perceptions. They might trivialize your feelings, telling you that you're too sensitive or can't take a joke. Those who are detached from their core humanity often lack the ability to empathize with the emotional hurt they cause. Instead of offering a genuine apology, they divert, deflect, or double down on their behavior. Understanding these behaviors is crucial, not just for your well-being, but for the health of all your relationships. Recognizing the signs of secret hatred can prevent prolonged emotional distress and help you set boundaries with those who exhibit these tendencies. This ensures that your emotional and mental peace remains intact. When interacting with someone who might harbor secret hate, pay close attention to how you feel afterward. Do you experience pain, especially in your hips or the seat of your body? The hips are particularly sensitive to energy. Do you feel a bit sick after talking to them or even thinking about them? Navigating human interactions requires vigilance and understanding. By recognizing the subtle signs of secret hatred and those sideways jokes, you can better protect yourself from the emotional toll these interactions can take. The Secret Hater Test. The secret hater test is something that took me years to figure out. I needed a way to determine whether someone was genuinely my friend or just a secret hater. It's important not to let projection or paranoia cloud your judgment. Sometimes, our own insecurities can make us project negativity onto others, damaging good relationships. But there are times when the other person simply doesn't have your best interests at heart. As you progress in life, more money, more opportunities, more people in your orbit, the ratio of things that can go wrong increases. There's an average ratio in any set of friendships or business dealings. Some will go well, others will not. You need to be vigilant about the people in your life because, statistically, a certain percentage of them do not have your best interests at heart. You need to identify them quickly and remove them from your life as quietly as possible. After the shooting in Vegas, I became a hugger. I made a conscious effort to hug everyone I cared about, ending each interaction with the understanding that it could be the last time I saw them. I wanted a tight circle of close friends rather than lots of acquaintances. I started telling certain girlfriends that I loved them, and the reactions I got were the biggest telltale sign of who was truly happy for me and who was not. The ones who weren't would show their hand with a micro-expression of pure panic in their eyes when I said, "I love you." So here's my test. The hug and I love you test. It's a simple way to gauge whether someone is truly your friend or a secret hater. If they're genuine, they'll respond immediately, often hugging you tighter. But if they're not, they'll show their hand with that brief flash of panic. The worst enemies I've ever had were the ones inside my own house. Every time I sat on my ship, someone was always poking holes in it. That's life. It's our job to develop discernment, not to judge others. For me, it's about identifying the secret haters so I can remove them from my life. It has nothing to do with what they do after me, before me, or during. I'm taking them out because they don't have my best interests at heart. If the people around you don't have your best interests at heart, they will pull you down in life. Period. I, me, my, the lie, authentic or not? Let's get real. Sometimes your secret haters are closer to you than you realize. I had a weird feeling about one person, a gut feeling that something was off. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I chalked it up to my own paranoia or mixing up energies. But then, I saw it with my own eyes, and I thought to myself, always listen to your gut. I had this person on my podcast to talk about their craft, their skill, their topic of expertise. But as the conversation unfolded, it was like I was hearing my own life story, twisted and adapted. It was bizarre. I tried to steer the conversation back to the topic, to make it less about them and more about their expertise, but they kept pulling it back to themselves. They weren't showing us how amazing they were. They were trying to convince us. And there's a big difference. Later, watching the videotape, I noticed all the micro-expressions, the eye rolls, the smirks, the little glances that revealed their true feelings. Most people aren't even aware of these tiny betrayals, where their body language contradicts their words. It takes a master to fake body language perfectly, and most people aren't masters. This experience inspired a new exercise, the I, me, my game. How many times does someone say I, me, or my in a conversation? If it's all about them, it's a red flag. I tallied 97 uses in a 46-minute conversation. That's a huge indicator of someone who isn't genuinely interested in a reciprocal relationship. Pay attention to who talks at you, not with you. Me talks, not detox. In life, we encounter those who inject negativity, those who drain our energy, the toxic ones. Derived from the Latin toxicus, which means poison, toxic people are like arrows aimed to hurt, leaving traces of their venom. But just as there's empowerment in detoxifying our bodies, we can detox our lives from these people. Detox isn't just about cleansing, it's about reversing the harm. Every arrow can be removed, every toxic interaction can be countered. When your life has been poisoned by negativity, it's time to clean house, figuratively and literally. But beyond a mere detox, you need a me-tox. This isn't about running away from what you don't want, but about moving toward what you do. Most goals fail because they're avoidance strategies. Instead, focus on an approach strategy. If you're quitting smoking, don't just avoid it. Replace it with a positive habit. A me-tox is about adding value to yourself until there's no room for negativity. You're not just getting rid of the bad. You're filling your life with so much good that the bad naturally fades away. Focus on self-improvement, self-worth, and positive self-reflection. Instead of pushing away the darkness, light a lamp. For every toxic action, there's a stronger, more impactful counteraction. The truth bump test. Finally, learn to trust your body's signals, what I call truth bumps. When your body lights up with goosebumps or shivers, it's not just a random occurrence. It's your inner guidance system at work. When you hear or say something true, those bumps are like a sign from the universe, telling you, you're on the right track. Pay attention to these moments. They're confirmations that you're in alignment, that you're co-creating with the universe. Spend time alone, recharge, and hone this ability. The more in tune you are with yourself, the easier it is to read others. Trust your truth bumps. They're there for a reason. If you enjoyed this topic and you want to learn more, sign up for the How to Play video course. Link in bio.